Rangsiman, I'm sure that you decided to enter politics because you wanted to see changes, right?
Yes.
And now you have been in politics over a year now.
Yes.
You are more or less optimistic about seeing change that you wanted to see.
I think it's for me. I still have the optimistics about the Thailand can change, and today I really feel optimistic with this because when
You've
I
been more optimistic today than you were a year ago.
yes because when I was an activist, I I saw many friends. I saw my generation. Many people they feel give up with the politics. They feel like whatever that we try to do, nothing changed. But now many of the young generation they come to gathering. They demand democracy. They demand of the changing of the country. So for me, this is hope, and I think many things change. Let's say just now I'm the MP in the parliament. When I talk with the government side, they feel pressure about the movement. They feel pressure about the protest. That's why we try to talk about the constitution. We try to apply the draft, not just from the opposite side, oppositional side, but including the government side. We try to make the draft together, and I think I have hope for that.
So you mean that amending the constitution is now the only way out of this potential crisis, right?
Maybe that is the first step.
Okay.
Because when we try to change country, we have to talk about the structure of the country. And when we talk about the structure of the country, we need to talk about the constitution. And this is the one of the what the student demand. So I think this is how the parliament can involve to solve the problem that we have in the current situation. And if we can make it different, I mean, if we can change the constitution, at least the society will more or less pressure. And maybe we can build the atmosphere that everyone can talk and can find a solution to solve the problem. We have to understand that for Thailand politics, the problem that we have is not just today, but we have before, we have for so long. So this is how the students grow up and they see what we see. They see that, okay, we have the problem, but how to solve it? Constitution is the first step that we need to go before we do another. Yes.
So it means you believe in mechanism in the parliament that the amendment of constitution
I do
should
believe
happen
it.
in
I
the
do
parliament.
believe, yes, I do believe it. I do believe that the parliament is the way to solve. Just let's say, okay, people can pressure. People can go to the public gathering. People can demand democracy. But to make it happen, the parliament have to involve with this. We have to, okay, we can talk with the government. We can talk with the people. And okay, maybe we cannot give everything that people want. We cannot give everything that the government want. We can find a better way. This is the way that the parliament can do. And we try to amend the section 256 that is about how to amend the constitution. And not just that, we try to apply about to set up the constitution draft assembly. Yeah, this is the way that we can have the new constitution. And when we have the assembly, everyone can talk. If you have the idea, if you have hope, if you have the future of the country, we can talk there.
That's right. I'm sure you must have talked to a lot of people in the parliament, right? Your colleagues in other parties. But I mean, we know that the different parties have different versions of the amendment, right?
Yes.
So eventually, you think these parties, including your party, can come together and have a common ground in amending the constitution?
Yeah. So for us, we think that we have our idea, and maybe even if we talk about the oppositional party, we still have some part that may be different, but we think that the way the one of the way that we can change country better is to talk to make every problem and find a solution in the constitution draft assembly. And not just that, because this way is so long, we need time maybe almost 2 years. So what the choice, what the another choice that we can do, we can amend some section in the parliament. And one of the biggest problem in the constitution is about the Senate. Everyone know that the Senate didn't come from the people.
Yeah.
They got selected by the NCPO. So this is the thing that people demand to, and we think that we can use this situation to do something. For example, we can cancel some section about that the Senate have the power to vote for the Prime Minister. We can change that. And for the information that I get, I think the Senate, many Senate, they feel okay with that if we cancel that. So why we don't do anything about this? So that's why even for the oppositional party, we have some idea that we different.
But if you judge from the statements or remarks by the Prime Minister, do you think eventually he will consent to having that section amended? Because he was the one who appointed the senators, right? What do you think is the likelihood of the Prime Minister agreeing to have that section amended?
We know that Prime Minister, he is the one of the impact of the Thailand structure. But we can guess that maybe he okay or he not okay. We can guess. So what we can do, for me, I prefer to talk what we can do. So far, I think people go to the public gathering. The student, not just including the student in the university, but including the student in the senior high school and junior high school. They go to this point and they try to protest, to pressure the government. So for us as the MP, what we can do, we can solidarity with the people. However, what MP want, what the parliament want, we want democratic constitution too. Why we not join with the people and try to do something? Absolutely, for the hand in the parliament, we don't have enough hand. But why we need to think just how to say it, it's like in the frame of the constitution. If we talk just okay, by the law we need 376 hand, and that's why this is how we can change the constitution. We need one of three of the Senate to join with us. But now we have people, and people support idea. So I think it's better to join with the people, and we can pressure the government.
So you're saying that the voice of the people is more important than the number of hands in the.
And I can confirm you that when I talk with the MP from the government side, they feel the voice of the people is important. I can confirm it. I have many conversations with the government side, and I think they worry. At least they feel that if they don't respond to the people fast enough, maybe it might be the huge problem for the government.
Would you say that if a referendum was held tomorrow, the majority of people would say yes to a constitutional amendment in the way that you are suggesting?
I think we have to campaign. We have to educate people. We have to give people information. I want to talk a bit about the referendum that ever have in the last term, maybe 2000. I'm not sure how to say, maybe 2017, 16. Yeah, 16. We don't have the chance to educate people. We cannot tell people what the positive side and what the negative side of the constitution. So if the next time we have the chance and we have, truly free speech of the constitution, I think Thailand will ready to pass the problem that we stuck for many years.
And what about the stance of opposition parties? Because even Kao Klai Party and Pheu Thai Party are on different pages in terms of amending constitution.
Let's say like this: for the end of the goal, we agree the same thing. we need the democratic constitution. So we need to see how change of the country. I think we see the same thing. But how to go there? We are different.
I see.
For the Pheu Thai, they think that maybe we shouldn't amend another section. We just amend the section 256 and set up the constitution plus constitution draft assembly. For this thing we agree. But for Kao Klai, we think if we just do this, it's not enough and it's so long. Why we don't do another? So for us, we can amend another section, and Senate is a part of that.
I see.
But Pheu Thai they worry if we amend the section that relate with the Senate power, maybe Senate will not agree to pass this amendment. Yes.
Maybe they're speaking from experience.
Our experience is different.
Okay.
Okay, I can say that Pheu Thai they worry, but for us we think why you have to worry like that. Now we have people, so what we have to do is we just solidarity with the people, and we can do what we want.
Yeah.
But Pheu Thai maybe they have the bad experience,
That's right.
but I think now the situation is so much different. Who try to pressure the government now is like everyone from many provinces,
Yes.
and the demonstration is happening. I think it's almost every province. So the situation is so different. Why we not use this one to change something, to do something much? I mean, to do something more than what we ever expect.
Yeah. In your thinking, what's the priority right now for the whole country? Should it has more participation in terms of constitutional? What should be done with the constitutional amendment and to hearing from different stakeholders in Thai society?
For me, to hear people is not enough. Now we have many to hear people. We know what people think from many ways. We are the representative. We have to connect with the people, so we know what people think. But just think it's not enough. We have to use our mechanism to change what people demand. So this is how the structure of the country important for people too. If people demand and finally the parliament cannot respond what people want, why they need the parliament? So for me, the most important thing is respond what people demand. We are the representative. We represent the people. What people demand is our job.
So that's on your shoulder as the spokesperson of the House Committee on Law and Human Rights and Citizen that you have to push this motion forward.
Yes. This is the important of us.
Uh-huh.
We can have our idea. People pay for us to use our idea to work for people. But we work for people. It means if people demand something, we have to respond.
Yeah. But outside the parliament, you can see how people demonstration are having a series of demonstration and their concern, their demand are so different. They do not speak with unified voice, not just one voice. So how can these two legs work in tandem between parliament and people's demonstration?
This is the thing that might be the problem too, because maybe we have many groups that demand a different thing. I can say that is my difficult and complex. But for the constitution, we try to hear for many people. Absolutely, I cannot say that 100% of the whole country will agree to change the constitution. Some group they demand that okay, let the constitution be like that. Don't touch the constitution. But every party, almost every party, when the election in the last time, we promised people that we will change. And that's why we got selected. That's why we come here. So we have the mission before we have the demonstration. The demonstration is like they come to us and they say, "You ever promise that we will change the constitution?" So we just respond what we ever promised before the election on 24th of March, in the last year. So,
Yeah.
so I think we have to hear every group, but we have to consider what people demand, and we try to use our ability, our mechanism to respond people. Even people don't want to change the constitution, we have to hear them, and we have to consider the both sides. And finally, okay, we have to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And however, if we have the constitution draft assembly, everyone can speak there. At least we can decide the constitution that this country should going on.
Yeah. So am I right to say that the stand taken by your party, Kao Klai, is for all sections of the constitution to be open to changes, right? And
Yes.
this is something that you will not compromise on.
I can confirm that you say we open. For us, we don't want to say that some section cannot change. But however, technically we have the section 255. So actually some part we cannot change. For example, you cannot change this country to be fascist. You cannot do. It need to be the constitution monarchy.
Okay.
For the territory, we cannot change. It have to be the same.
Yeah.
So this thing is enough to lock that okay, the constitution draft assembly cannot change. But another one, for example, about the power of the king, about how the mechanism of the parliament work. For us, we open. Let the people decide. And who can decide is the constitution draft assembly. They will come from the people because they will get election. And let's talk there.
So since you mentioned monarchy, so how do you feel to be blended, including your party, to be accused of being anti-monarchy?
We get attacked about this a lot, and I can confirm that we never have the idea to anti the monarchy. We never have idea that we come for this way to work for the people. Let's say like this: who can have the power to attack the monarchy? Actually, not the politician. I do believe that politicians don't have ability to do. Who can do is army. That is because they are the group have the weapon. They cannot just change the country to be democratic country, to be another regime. But they can do more if they want to do. So people shouldn't worry the person like us. They should worry the army that we don't know how they spend money. We don't know that how they work. We don't know about the mechanism of them. Yes.
Now they have this loyalist group, right? You see that the Thai Party group that organized a rally yesterday. How would you want to communicate with these people?
We would like to communicate. Actually, I can say that in the same way we ever announced that if some group got arrested because they go to the
Rallies,
public
yeah.
gathering,
Yeah.
we will try to use our status to bail them out.
No matter what stand they have, right?
We will do.
Okay.
If Thai Party group got arrested because of the freedom of expression, we will bail them out. I can confirm that. So we try to manage, we try to connect every group. Even we disagree with their idea, but we never disagree of the freedom of expression that they have.
You are a young MP, and in many area, many venue of student demonstration, you were there as well. So I believe that you must be talking with some of them on the same page. And do you have anything that you like to communicate with them? Because some more senior citizen or grown-up people probably quite worried in terms of the stance of young demonstrator, young people who coming out and having strong demands.
Yeah.
How do you think of this atmosphere coming up in Thailand?
I think they're so creative. Yeah, maybe when I was the activist, we were the transition. Like we demand the election, we demand democracy, and finally we got the election. But okay, we never got the democracy. But it's a transition from the movement, for example, like Red Shirt, PDRC, and the new, I don't know how can I say, like new era, like we will have the election. So the demonstration that I have is a mix between the culture that Red Shirt movement have, PDRC have, and we will got the inspired from Hong Kong that they're more creative, they use the technology. So we mix, we blend. But now it's like our dream that this demonstration actually they don't have the leader. Everyone can be the leader. You just make a poster and you just put it on the internet, and then people will go with you and people will support. So what does it mean? People support the movement not because the leader, but people support the content. People support what they demand. So this is the dream of the it's like civilian movement that the person like me we think. But however, when I communicate with them, I cannot suggest them the content or the organizing, because this is their way, this is their style. For us, what we can do is that if you got the violence, if you don't have the freedom of expression, as the MP, I can support you that. So what we try to do, we try to make sure that at least people in this country, they will have the space to speak. So this is what we can do.
So in a way, you are dismissing, accusations that political parties, especially Kao Klai Party, are behind all these protests.
No, I can say no. Let's say like this. First, we don't need to be high of them, because for us, we speak what the country should be, and they speak already. Why I have to be high of them again? Second, if we are behind of them and the government can find something that proves that we are behind, no one get the benefit of this. And the third, I can say that some son or daughter of the government representative, they join the movement too. So even their parent, they cannot stop us. They cannot stop the activists. Why we can manipulate their idea or their movement? We cannot. We have to understand this generation. Not easy that someone can be high of them. Because, okay, maybe you can talk, but it doesn't mean that they will believe you. So for us, we don't need to do that. For the Kao Klai Party or Move Forward Party, we have the stage enough to speak what we want to speak. We can do the full ability that we have in the parliament. And we think that this enough for this situation to change something. At least what we speak, we can educate people in the whole country, and it looks like success enough. I can say that how success of the Kao Klai Party is we can educate people, and people think, okay, the problem that have in this country, for example, about the reformation of the military, is success. If you compare before we have Future Forward Party, not much people talk about the problem inside of the of the military. But now we can raise this issue, and many issue that Future Forward Party and Kao Klai Party try to do, we success. And after, okay, people can use our content to make the public gathering. It depends on the people. Just that.
And do you see that the protesters are walking on the tightrope that probably it will lead to provoking violence with the military or the other camp, and that may finally lead to violence another round?
I do believe that some of the army, they're smart enough to not do that. And they try to stop. No one get the benefit of the violence. We have a lot of experience that violence never solved the problem of this country. We don't have to repeat the same. We know what happened. Let's say that in 2010, what happened. And now it still be that problem never solved. So don't make the new problem again. Don't try to make the violence with your kid, with your daughter, with your son. Nothing. We don't gain anything from the violence.
No, but there are fears out there that the military could be provoked into staging another coup. Do you think that is a possibility?
Someone ever say that the last coup is the coup that not finished. It's not success. So the coup still success, right? At least the last time the coup success, the military get what they want.
Yes, right.
So it might have the next. So if we know that the coup might happen, so everyone, we should try together to make sure that we will not have the coup anymore. This is the only way. We cannot do another.
Okay. Last question. You are a newcomer in politics. So, in 1 year in politics, what have you learned?
Oh my God! This should be the first question because I have to think a lot. But what I learned is, I think we still need the newcomer, the new generation for the politics. Politics is not the praise for the people who expect to have the long career. If you expect that, it's like you make this country not progress enough. For the political praise, we need the people who have the new experience, who know the new innovation, and they should bring their experience like that to come to politics and try to use their ability to change the country. So if you expect to have the long career, we will not change the country anymore.